Welcome to another week of dealing with the Beatitudes. And as we progress to the end of this journey next week with the Beatitudes, we want to thank you for being a part of our journey. Thus far, we've identified 8 components of the character of those who follow Jesus, 8 attitudes of the Beatitudes: serenity, confidence, contentment, appetite, care, sincerity, respect, and being driven. This week we dig deeper into Matthew 5, 11, and 12, which is separate from Matthew 5:10, even though persecution is referred to in both verses. Last week we clarified that being persecuted by an outside force, outside the community of faith in 70 AD, the Roman Empire, was only one side of the trauma of persecution of the faithful. The other side is being mistreated by others within the faith community. So let's look at 5, 11, and 12. And for us to discover the distinction between being persecuted from the outside in, from being persecuted from within, which is the subject of the week. So the Revised Standard Word for Word version reads, "Blessed are you when men revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so men persecuted the prophets who were before you." Remember, the persecution of the prophets was from within the community of faith. And then the verses from Eugene Peterson's The Message. "Not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down or throw you out or speak lies about you to discredit me. What it means is that truth is too close for comfort, and they are uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens. Give a cheer even, for though they don't like it, I do. All heaven applauds, and know that you're in good company. My prophets and witnesses have always gotten into this kind of trouble, again, within the community of faith." And then the native version, "Others will lie about you, speak against you, look down on you with scorn and contempt, all because you walk the road with me. This is a sign that the Creator's blessing is resting on you. So let your hearts be glad and jump for joy, for you will be honored in the spirit world above. You are like prophets of old who were treated in the same way by your ancestors." Again, from within the community of faith. So we've set the stage for this beatitude. It has to do with life within the community of faith. Yep. Faith persons sometimes look down on those who walk the way of Jesus. Yes, within the community of faith, persons look down with scorn and contempt on those with whom they disagree. Yes, people are thrown out of the community of faith for taking Jesus so seriously that those in authority are threatened. Now, in some communities, this is called excommunication. Other communities refer to shunting or heresy, or in day-to-day experiences of imposed humor, making fun of the other, or the most common form of cruelty and persecution, which is, in my opinion, gossip. Day-to-day gossip, which is often telling lies to discredit those who walk the road that Jesus encourages the faithful to walk. I respect George as much as any faithful person I've ever known. George was accused by his granddaughter of sexual misconduct. He, in humility before the judge, pled not guilty. The accusation was vivid and convincing. The judge said to George if he would plead guilty, he would receive probation, and the only lifelong punishment would be that he would be registered as a sex offender. If he held to his claim of innocence, he would be sent to prison. George pled not guilty, Your Honor. Years later, the granddaughter admitted that she had lied. She went to the judge admitting what she had done. She asked her grandpa for forgiveness. George opened his arms and, without speaking, gave her the embrace of healing. I asked George why he chose to walk the road he had taken, being persecuted from within the community of faith who believed the granddaughter, from within his own family of faith. He replied that he was asked by the judge to lie, to admit to an act he did not commit. He said if he would have agreed to lie, he would have ruined and tarnished his granddaughter forever. He said she could never have told the truth to counter his lie. He chose to sacrifice a year in prison to suffer that she might someday be able to tell the truth. See, George suffered and sacrificed for her sake. Now that's agape love in spades, if you will. Recently, in the community of faith called United Methodist, we have experienced the telling of lies, looking down on others in order to discredit, intimidate, and control. One day, a person here in Winfield informed me how disappointed they were in me because I did not believe in Jesus. I questioned a person concerning how they had reached this conclusion. In short order, I discovered that they had read that the bishops of the church did not believe in Jesus, and on the basis of this truth that they believed, they were leading their nearby church to disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church, pure, unadulterated gossip putting me down with scorn and contempt. What's the attitude to live by in the face of such behavior? We've all experienced gossip, person telling lies about others or ourselves, and many of us have participated in gossip, sharing information about others that we did not know whether or not it was true or not. You see, Bishop Job, a dear friend and mentor of mine, wrote the short narrative book of what it means to be faithful as United Methodist. And he said there's 3 simple rules. We distributed copies of that book a decade ago in this congregation called Grace United Methodist Church. His 3 simple rules were: do no harm, do good, and stay in relationship with God. See, that in a nutshell is what integrity is all about. That, you see, is what George was all about. Integrity, not willing to tell a lie. Indeed, that's the challenge of all of us, to live the life of following Jesus with the attitude of integrity. These 3 rules, do good, do no harm, stay in relationship with God, work in every human situation. In the face of cruel humor, making fun of another or a group. It works in the face of gossip, lies that are intended to hurt. They work in the face of scorn and contempt. For in the face of all these day-to-day experiences, followers of Jesus are invited to be persons of integrity and be in the good company of those who have gone before, those who follow on the road that Jesus invites those who follow him to travel. Indeed, be persons of integrity in all times, in all places, in every situation. Do good. Do no harm. Stay in relationship with God, and you will experience happiness. That's pretty deep stuff. Let me ask a couple of questions that will continue your journey of thought and conversation. What are your experiences of being looked down upon with scorn and contempt within the community of faith? Secondly, why is gossip and making fun of others so inviting? Thanks for continuing our journey with us.